He's on the corner. Are you here? What did I say? I think so. What's that?
What's up, guys? This is the Cryptic Heartland podcast, episode number 147. I am one of the hosts, Leo Fernandez, along with... Ooh, I kicked the camera.
Uh-oh.
Along with, across the way, we got some couple people here. We got Mr.
I'm Jason.
Andy.
And we're back for week 2, man. It's hard to believe.
Week 2, we're all brand new to this still.
It's good to be back, finally.
Definitely. It's been a long time, like we mentioned last week. Sorry, let's check something out real quick here. Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to get used to things again. And as you can see, we brought our friends back. They got their own camera tonight, the dolls.
So it's not only the floating head, but you got the floating dolls now.
That's right. The one on the left, right above Andy's left shoulder, we named it Cuddles, I think we're going with. That's what I've been calling them. And then on the one on the camera right would be Clementine.
Clementine.
Yep, so, yeah.
Well, they didn't do anything next to me the whole time, but just a little bit ago when I walked in, the K2 there wasn't doing anything, but now it's
still flickering a little bit.
But
maybe they just need a little different location.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's flickering a little bit, and then so far the EDI machine hasn't gone off yet. I'm waiting for some kind of temperature change or some kind of EMF to happen or whatever. It fluctuates, the temperature gauge does a little bit, but I need something concrete.
I know. I just want them to stand up and run off or something.
Or move or something, yeah. Or the head moves. That's what I want to see.
Start spinning around.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's been going on, Andy?
Yeah, tell us what you've been up to.
We haven't seen you in a long time.
I know. Well, working so much, but we got to go down to Wamego. I know you guys talked about that last week when I was at work.
That was fun.
That was a blast.
That was fun. What was your favorite part? Because I know we went upstairs of the...
Toto's Tacos?
Of the tacos, yes. Toto's Tacos. Went upstairs. That was something new for us.
Yes. That was pretty neat to go upstairs. Stacy and a few people in our group went up to that little loft that was up there.
Yeah. And
had some temperature changes. I think for my group, we had a little more happen at the Oz Museum than we normally had.
Yeah.
We had this younger guy in our group that Stacy and a few others were upstairs at the Oz Museum, and I was downstairs with your spirit box.
Yeah. Kind
of going around trying to get something to happen. And while I was downstairs, the guy in our group got scratched on his leg. And it was pretty pronounced at first, but by the time he showed it to me like 20 minutes later, you could still kind of see it.
Really? I did not hear about this.
Oh, really? I thought I told you all. I'm sorry.
No.
That was like the most significant thing in our group.
We didn't have anything happen up there.
Okay.
I mean, I even got the SLS out up there. Nothing. It was just kind of cool showing the guests how it worked and everything like that. I was mapping them out and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
they could see it, and they're like, so this is how it works, and I'm like, yeah, so if that person, waves its hands and stuff, that's
It's
what it does.
I think it's different for our guests to be able to see it in person versus what you see on like the other ghost TV shows. That way, then they know it's not like somebody doing something. But
Yeah. It's always difficult to, I mean, I think we talked about it ad nauseum, but every time you watch a show, it's like it's edited for, to show some kind of something, whether it's
some
real
kind
or
of
fake.
drama.
But, just trying to get it to happen on the spot. You sit there for hours, sometimes, and it's just mind-numbing, but,
Yeah.
And that's what I told people. And I had some friends that even came from work that were there, and they even said, they looked at me and they're like, well, we never had anything happen all night. And I was like, really? They're like, but that's okay. It was fun anyway. It was fun just to have the opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that pissed me off probably the most about the whole night is I didn't know that Toto's Tacos was still cooking and making tacos while we were doing our stuff. And we had the chance to eat if we wanted to.
Oh, no.
Like my group, once we got in there, like all our guests sat down and was eating nachos. Like Stacy and I was walking around with equipment trying to get stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Before we all went upstairs.
I think. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to change the subject to a different location on that, so you go.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think myself and everybody out in Wamego is going to kind of work on changing it up a little bit to make, I think, the rotations longer and stuff like that, and kind of starting at a better time, like each rotation start the moment everyone is finally in place and stuff like that. I feel like we were a little rushed on this one, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
It was good. I knew we were trying to keep a time frame for everything, so and we did. We kept a good time frame for everybody. But just us, we are always going till like freaking 4 in the morning, and still.
That's how we were at the hotel.
I know. Yeah, I know. You guys are still doing that.
I texted you that night after you got to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then because you said you were going to go to sleep in the car, and we were going to come wake you up and make you go to the apartments with us.
I never got your text or anything. Never did. And I ended up just heading home.
That's what I figured because I saw you pull up.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
That was a rough night.
Those apartments were off the hook.
Yeah, well, damn it. Well, the drive home was rough, so either way. No, that's all good. It was all good. I stopped at some hotel randomly and just fell asleep. And then in their parking lot, and then I made it home. But yeah, I love it. I love doing this kind of stuff. I love like that being on the road. And
yeah, there's something like different about it, especially after an investigation.
Yeah.
Like Stacy and I told y'all after we did the Frank's box, after all the rotations, about what we did beforehand. Stacy did a lot of research on her own before going. We'd been up there 2 weeks before when the event got canceled due to COVID, and just I kind of took her around town and Manhattan and whatnot. And she did some research on JC that built the Columbian. Yeah. And found that he was buried there in Wamego. So she had the great idea of going to the cemetery prior and doing like the rubbings of the headstones of him and his wife. And so we had decided that she would have one of the rubbings in her pocket, and I would have, like, she had JC's and I had the wife's name in my pocket.
Right.
And we didn't tell anybody else that we did that. And so as she was like doing the rubbings of the headstones, I was talking to him saying, I told him Stacy and I's name, like, come through tonight, tell us something that we know that you knew that we were here.
Well, he came through.
Yes, he came through more than once.
Yeah, and they're on stage when we were doing the Frank's box. That was awesome. Yeah,
because Stacy, when he came through, she turned around, she's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and he called me an asshole.
He wasn't wrong. Just
I know. Well, I kind of made a bad joke. It was a really bad joke. But we saw him downstairs because I saw the shadow figure watching us from the window, from the stairwell.
Yes.
And I just turned and I'm like, wait a second, that's usually lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And I stared, and sure enough, I could make out like somebody standing there. And finally, when I stepped forward, I saw it zoom off, just take off, and it lit up again, like the stairwell,
lit up.
the window, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I told everybody, I was like, oh, you know, thinking that they're gonna be like, oh, of course you saw it. So I'm like, I did see it, but you know, let's continue on. And then somebody else, a guest, actually looked over and saw the same thing. He had come back, and as soon as we all turned to look and everything,
He was gone.
everyone saw him zoom off again,
Okay.
and he came back again a third time.
Oh, that's
So he just kept coming back, like very curious about what we were doing down there.
because first rotation, my group, Stacy and I's group, was there at the Columbian.
Yeah,
So, and I asked the team, I said, okay, would you rather stay up here in the theater or go start down in the basement?
right.
And so they chose to start in the basement. And one of the guests had this app similar to the Portal on her phone. And the first word that popped up that night was cemetery. So Stacy and I knew at that point that, okay, JC knew that we were there. And then it wasn't a couple minutes later, like our group was real quiet at first, the first like minute or two. And then I looked down at the other end of the hall where it was like completely pitch black. And then if you walk down there, the lights automatically turn on.
Yeah, I hate that.
And I saw a figure down there just like peeking around the corner.
Did you?
And then it came, like, moved. And then I saw the whole figure standing there. And I walked halfway, and everybody's just, like, watching me. But once, I think Stacy might have saw it, but nobody else really kind of made out the figure. But once everybody started kind of looking down there, then he just went away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a fun place. I love everything about it. That theater is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for like Leo to actually find a time and chance to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a fantastic place to be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what about the winery for you?
The winery, we didn't have too much happen. We talked to, I think Kristen was her name, that was apartment upstairs.
Right.
So she was telling us her and her husband's experiences, and about, I thought she said the guy's name was Frank that frequents there.
Gotcha.
And so after talking to her, I had the dowsing rods, and we had a few other pieces of equipment, but our group didn't really use the dowsing rods till we went to the Oz Winery.
Yeah. I only broke those out there at the winery.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we went into that back little room.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
sat at that table, and we just I held out the dowsing rods, and a gentleman took it in our group, and we designated one person to ask questions.
Gotcha.
And which other people did ask questions, but we had a lot of questions answered. Like they were asking, do you like Krista and her husband and their dogs living here? And of course they crossed, and so we had a lot of intelligent answers out of it. So we had a little more answers there than we did anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, the one person that did it back there, the gentleman, I can't remember his name, but I got him on video. I videotaped him. I went live with him doing it. But he knew it was going to happen because he knew who is following him, and it came out to be the same person.
Oh.
Same female that has been following him for years. She's just like attached to him, won't leave.
Oh, wow.
So he was just like holding them, and they were just going off left and right. I mean, you didn't even see. You could tell his hands weren't moving or anything. So, but with mine, you have to like literally move your wrist to make them move because I have the little sleeve on that. So, but yeah, it was cool. I mean, I hope everybody had fun out there.
I think our group really enjoyed it because there's a lot of our guests on our group that want to come back, want to do more, want to go to different locations with us.
Right. Like different cities, stuff like that. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to have Carl set us up with a date for for Dodge.
Yay.
I want to just go ahead and because I'm still waiting on a side project with all these locations too. But I want to go ahead and get the bigger, the bigger public investigations going on with Nest City and Dodge and stuff like that, and get those going again.
Yeah, it's
so we
been a
can
while.
get back, because I love those locations to death, and I don't want to like lose the opportunities to do so
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it was nice going to Dodge that one night in December.
Oh yeah, when we snuck in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't sneak in there.
Ooh.
Carl had the keys. He let us in, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were there for not even 30 minutes, and we heard somebody walk across the stage while we were all under the stage, and somebody's
Yeah.
walking across.
Oh yeah, that's what you were telling me.
So it's still alive. It's still good.
I think they missed us, our normal spirits there.
It was cool. It was
Yeah.
fun to be there. A lot of stuff has changed. They've gotten rid of a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Squidworth is not there anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Where do you end up going?
Don't know.
Probably the trash.
Yeah, probably.
Oh
Probably.
man.
They got rid of a lot of the props downstairs, so
Yeah.
it's changed.
There's more room in that back
Yeah.
room now than there ever has been.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well,
Are you talking about underneath the stage? Is
Yeah.
that back room? Oh, okay.
yeah, all back in there, down in the basement and stuff.
Yeah, I
Just
gotcha.
All around back through there. It's a lot different. They got a new director,
Oh,
person
that's
in
right.
charge of everything there. So,
Right.
but they're from what I'm told, they're still highly interested in us doing stuff. So,
Can't wait. It's been a while since I've been to Dodge, especially to
I know.
investigate.
It's not the same not having Leo out with us. We have.
actually, it's starting to be the normal now.
Right.
Well, you see, the reason why is because I have no body. All I have is a head.
I know.
And no legs. So.
I know he's got that kind of robotic
Yeah, that's right.
body.
We have a lot of stuff happen without you, Roth, or
Sure.
Dan, when you guys aren't able to make it. But we have a lot more. Like I think
Well,
Leo, Dan, and Roth. We have. You guys are like our attractive
Yeah.
stuff that like more stuff
Yeah, I don't
happens.
know about
Well,
that's a strong word.
You put Dan and
Attractive.
Jake, Dan and Jake and Roth out there, and stuff happens. But I'm curious to see how everything reacts to you coming back.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. But what I'm going to do and try to set up is just team investigations
Yeah.
first. Break you back in and get you back into the mix of things.
Yeah, and there's some things I got working on
Leo.
the side, team things out of state that I want to do.
Cool.
So, yeah, but we're talking different states, like down in, I don't want to say, maybe
Okay.
Texas, maybe,
Maybe.
and maybe other places. Maybe even Arkansas, but we'll see.
Okay.
Still working on some things, behind the scene details.
Okay.
And if we do, hopefully for the viewers, we can go live if the owner permits us to. But we'll know in the future, and we'll let you guys know ahead of time how you guys can join in.
Right. And
So-
we're going to be in Arkansas in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that. I'm not going to really say anything yet
yeah.
about where we're going or anything like that, but it's a very well-known place now. It's been on TV. It's got a good episode for it.
Yeah,
Looking forward to getting in there and investigating. Been talking to the owner for a while now,
right.
for the last few weeks, going over things. So
Hopefully you guys are able to go back even after that. So
we
maybe
got
I can
12
tag
hours
along.
inside, so it's
Yeah.
going
And
to
that's
be
what I was hoping, that maybe we'll get another shot to go back.
Yeah.
When
possibly. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
hoping. I'm going to do everything I can. I've got a gauntlet of equipment that's going to be going from
Right.
Jake and Dan to myself now to going to try out a different DVR system and
Yeah.
everything like that. Gonna just all kinds of different things, and I
Sure.
still got stuff waiting in my shopping cart online to buy more stuff.
Same here.
So-
maybe once we get those T-shirts to sell in soon, then
Yeah. We do have those. Those should be available here pretty soon. So
lots
we'll
of great
we'll have a
designs.
big chunk of T-shirts to sell for anybody who's wanting a T-shirt out there. Different sizes, and there's 6 different designs. So it's kind of whatever your choosing is. And each shirt has the same front, kind of like what I'm wearing, but the back of it is going to be different. 6 different designs, so it's going to be cool. And this all represents ELP and RTP So it's going to be fun. And Cryptic
Cryptic.
Heartland. Cryptic
Yep.
Heartland ourselves, you know. So
Yep.
really cool. Really cool stuff. That's all courtesy of Jake.
All right.
He got the designs drawn up and everything from a tattoo artist that he had that he's friends with. So really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. Looking forward to that. We're looking forward to seeing Dan and Jake again someday.
Yes.
You know, I don't know where they are, but
I think they're like the rest of us, all over the place.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Well,
That's
you guys
life.
at least seen them. They went with you to Wamigo at least.
Yeah.
So that's good. You had
Yeah.
a full team almost, except for about 3 of us that didn't get to go.
Yeah,
So-
I think Jake had some pretty good activity, and then after he
Yeah.
did the Frank's box session, he was pretty wiped.
No, yeah, that's what you were
So,
saying last
yeah.
week. Yep.
It always wears him. I hate doing that to him, but I feel like him and I have a great
Yeah.
connection doing it.
Yes.
But
There was times during that Frank's box session that it almost kind of reminded me of Dodge City on that staircase upstairs,
oh yeah,
where it was like the two spirits were like going back and forth.
right. See, that was an amazing session there.
Yes,
too.
it was.
I'm trying to make sure that I well, anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, don't want to
I-
delve too much of our secrets and styles of how we do it. You know, that seems to be
Yeah.
the trend out there.
Some things we're sorry have to remain private.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to share anything anymore.
So
But so
no, you're fine.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fun time. I know we have what's coming up in 2 weeks, but we just need to plan it. I don't know how we can get it in, but I even told Corey we got to try to get this in sometime this year. Is the other location in Arkansas, in Eureka Springs.
Yeah. Yep.
So because
Well,
we
there's
have
and
that.
not too far from there too.
Yeah,
I said there's that one, and plus not too far from there
right.
that we need to get in
Right.
hopefully this year.
I know the one that Dan has us in. You know, it's a open invitation, so and it's all written
Right.
out in a letter and signed by the manager. So
You still have it?
he does.
Oh,
He
you got
does.
it too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I gave it back to him. Yeah, and he's already even been back down there, and they've even talked and
Oh, cool.
spoken too. So
Yeah.
they're ready. They're ready to have us. Just gotta pick a date and
Yeah.
get our butts down there. So
Exactly.
And I'm still trying to get us into that one
Yeah.
location in St. Joe.
yes, ma'am.
Oh, right.
Yes, ma'am. Place we've all been except for Leo.
Yep. And Dan
Not
even
all.
laid
I
down.
know. Dan has, you have, I
I
have.
said
but-
Jake and Roth haven't, or
Yeah,
Renee
no,
or
they
Chris
haven't been.
haven't. So, yeah. No, we got a big, busy year coming up again. Hopefully everything works out and the world works out. We'll see. So, you never know.
Well, I'm pushing forward as much as I can. So
Yep. Has there been anything in the news, not necessarily world news, but paranormal news, UFO, Bigfooting news that you guys have just caught your eye or noticed a change?
you know, just shaky filming, blurred pictures and everything else. You know,
I mean, I've
Pe-
seen a couple of videos that were better, but I don't know
which one?
I don't know.
I mean, like of what topic?
Both Bigfoot, UFOs.
Yeah, it's hard to say with UFOs. There's so many more coming out now that
Right.
is it CG? Is it faked? Or is this real stuff that people are
Right.
capturing?
Which, I mean, people can say the same thing about everything else we present, paranormal or not.
maybe.
I mean, but
That's why I do like to, invite some people to come along. That's why we do public events and stuff like that.
right.
So you can see that we're not pulling your strings or pulling any strings on anything. But,
Yeah, definitely.
But when it comes to a lot of videos that people are like, this is the most amazing thing. No, it's not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been seeing a lot of dust orbs that people are presenting to the sites, and I just cringe. Not that they're not paranormal necessarily, but
Yeah.
they just get picked apart immediately. I mean, we have a couple of evidence that are centered around orb-like
Yeah.
structures, but this, I mean, there's other stuff going on at the time that kind of make me think they may be paranormal,
Yeah.
but I don't know. One of them was at a house that you didn't get to go that night, or you didn't either, Andy, but
No.
it was just Jake and Ruth and I, and we had interaction with one of our former deceased team members where she was interacting with us, and I mean, there were certain things, little telltale signs that I felt strong enough to think that it was her, especially with the equipment she was interacting with. But there was a light phenomenon, orb, that kind of swept through that at the same time. So it's just like, I mean, what do you do with that? I know you've seen it. I don't remember if you've seen it, Andy, or not, but
Yeah, I think Roth showed me.
Did he? I couldn't
He
remember.
called me and was telling me about it like a couple days later.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just don't know what to think about stuff like that. Well, even in the new intro that we have going in the last 2 weeks, there's one scene from that location where it's this scene shot from a downward angle up. You see a phenomenon that it's oblong. It looks like a rail, like a lightning rod of sorts, which I've seen those outside in locations. That's usually like some type of insect, but this was in the middle of winter. It was cold. There was no insects flying around inside of this house, and that's the same location that we had the interaction with like I said, the former teammate.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think of it or what to make of it. I don't know if I can play it or not. Let me see. I'll have to try to find it real quick here. I hate talking about stuff and then being unprepared. I need to be, which I'll start getting better prepared once we get back into the swing of things here.
Well, sometimes we go off cuff and we don't, tend to go in that direction of the conversation. So
Right.
it's not your fault.
Yeah, kind of. I'm just kidding.
Supposed to have it all tuned up, ready to go.
Right. Let me see if I can
Never
get it. I'll
happens.
work on
Never
it.
works that way.
I'll try to get that found so we can show the viewers. Give me a second.
But no, with news-wise, I see some videos here and there, but I
Yeah, I
don't know.
think
Nothing's really caught my attention too much.
I saw something like last week. I haven't had much time to watch the news because I've been working so much, but there was glimpse of something I saw in the news about some UFO, and the little part of the video that I saw just didn't looked like it was fake, so I didn't
Yeah.
really pay attention to it.
Yeah. No, I've been sending you videos every time I see something that looks, well, maybe we could play this on the show, and you can see if we can pick it apart or whatnot, or make fun of it or mock it or something like that. But the ones that really get me are the ones that have supposedly it's a actual alien being seen,
Yeah.
on camera, and and it's looking at the camera and looking around, and it looks like a gray. It could be a gray, but
Yeah.
it pretty much is probably going to be all fake and CG. So who knows?
Which I've been
Yeah.
watching a lot of videos, alien stuff. There was one on Discovery Plus about Betty and Barney Hill. I know we
Yeah.
talked about. Which
Yeah,
is,
I started watching
Alien
it and I
Abduction.
fell asleep.
I did too because it's very long.
It is.
And there's another one for Travis Walton.
Yes, and I
Same
want to
thing.
see this.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch both of them, but I need to
I know.
rewatch the first one because I was
Yeah.
falling asleep too.
So
Unfortunately,
Betty and Barney Hill. What do you think about that one so far?
I find it credible. I mean, they've taken all kinds of tests and stuff like that. They've gone out all over the
Yeah.
world at the time and finally in front of the whole U.S. or wherever national TV and admitted to everything being legit as
Yeah.
much as they could. And so you wouldn't put yourself. Well, I guess you shouldn't put yourself out there like that if you truly don't believe.
And I think her her dress and everything is in a museum, I believe, somewhere.
Yeah, I can't remember where.
Has radiation on it.
Yep.
You see the tears in it from where she even claims, I don't know where those tears came from until she went under hypnosis and figured out that's where they were doing stuff to her and taking the clothes off and do whatever exam they were wanting to do to her. But I find it credible.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like is, and I'm probably not giving away too much, she had the dress. She said when she got it out, she took it outside and hung it up on the line, and there was some kind of pink dust on there, residue, that as soon as she hung it, it blew away. So she lost, evidence.
Shit.
And then she threw it away, actually, the dress. And then she's like, something about it. And she went and got it back out of the dress and hung it up in the closet. And it's just it sucks because that's
She was contaminating her own dress. Basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
What about his clothes? I wonder if they ever He probably got rid of his, or
I don't
didn't
remember.
even.
It didn't
It's
really
always
stick
been
to me.
about her dress and
Yeah.
everything, but nothing about his clothes or anything.
Yeah.
But
Maybe they need to make a third episode. That way, the dress his.
I don't know.
I
I don't
mean-
think it's ever been addressed.
I think they've tested the test on it,
Did they?
but nothing was conclusive. It's just something that wasn't theirs. Theirs being
Maybe they
Betty or
didn't do
Barney.
as much with him as they did with her.
Right. Yeah, but the only problem was this is, in the 60s, 50s
Yeah.
and 60s, that
Yeah,
technology
60s.
wasn't even what it is today. So,
I think it was,
testing
what,
wasn't today.
1967?
I can't
something
remember
like
the
that?
year, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. She lived. He died about 10 years later. 10 years or something like
Yeah.
that. Maybe 15, 20 years later, in the 70s, I think it was. He was. I think was he sick after the fact? Like he had some kind of stomach thing, whatever, possibly because of the testing and the probe, whatever.
Possibly.
And she died like in 2004, I think is what it was. And she lived a long life, and she was still doing interviews up to the last. The cool thing about the documentary, one of her, because they didn't have any kids. It was one of her. I think it was her niece. Is a big component of it. So she was in the documentary, basically giving everything she knew and as much as she could remember, and still to this day is trying to fight for the cause, basically. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Was it a husband and wife doing the documentary?
No, I don't think so. I think it was.
I don't know that I've watched it, but now I need to.
I mean, it was just because it was more recent.
1961 was the incident.
The actual
Okay.
abduction. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just the whole thing is pretty spooky and bizarre. With they're watching this thing follow them. Coming home.
Yeah,
And
he was
the binoculars.
46 when he died.
Yeah. So it was very short after.
She
the fact.
died at age 85
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
in
Yeah.
2004.
Yep. That was 2004. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. They said it's housed at the University of New Hampshire. The dress. Thank you, Neosho County Paranormal Investigators, some friends of ours, which we had them on the show before too, Janice, Leah. So, Leah. I was butchering her name. I was forget until I talked to her. I'm like, I feel like a jerk, but so still trying to find the video. Go ahead and keep talking. Sorry, guys.
No. Then there's the Travis Walton one that I can't wait to watch too.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the guys that were part of the whole incident
Yeah.
talking about it, and they're all old now, which
Yeah.
really sucks. But it was the 70s when that happened.
That one's always so bizarre because they were all out there together, a group of about 6 of them. They all witnessed it,
Yeah,
and because they were working out in the woods.
you remember this story, right? Travis Walton.
Yeah, A Fire in the Sky, the movie.
Yeah.
But they were all out in the woods working, and they all saw the same thing at the same time.
As they're coming down the mountain, they kept
Yeah.
seeing what looked like a fire up ahead,
Yeah.
and then they finally came around the corner. This huge craft up above, and Travis is the only one who skids out of the car, out of the truck,
Right.
and is looking up at it like he's in a trance, and they're all screaming at him. And they see him get zapped with a beam and shot down, and
Yeah. They
they
couldn't find him.
freak out and they drive off. And when they get about a mile down the road, that's when his buddy Mike was like, I gotta get back. So he jumps the rest of the guys out of the truck. He turns around, goes back up there, never found him. He's just gone.
He's gone for 5 days.
5 days.
Yep.
He went, and they had a huge, massive search party out there. Helicopters, volunteers, police, dogs, people on horseback, everything. Everyone was out there searching for him. The guys were, not arrested, but they were being questioned, and the whole
Right.
town thought they killed him.
Yeah.
They went under polygraph, and only one of them failed. The rest of them passed.
Was that in Arizona? Is that where it
Yeah.
happened?
Snowflake, Arizona.
Yeah. Ray was asking about it.
Yeah, Snowflake, Arizona.
Yeah. So.
It's got to be awful to leave them and then wonder.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They felt bad for leaving, but at the same time, they're freaking out
Yeah.
that they just got, watch their buddy get zapped by an alien craft, and they take off. But
Right.
and then they found him 5 days later. starved and dehydrated, and I think they said that in those 5 days he never ate.
Right.
So, and it took going under hypnosis to actually remember exactly what happened too. So, and the thing is that he never took money for anything. He never did anything
Right.
for years until he finally did a book.
Oh,
It was
that's
like
right.
years later. So it's like he wasn't out for money.
Probably a lot of trauma from it too. Probably
Trauma and his friend or his coworkers, his former best friend Mike. Mike. He was the one that was
Oh, shoot.
who was driving the truck and drove off, and then he went. He always felt bad about it. From what I've read. So I don't know. Yeah, New Mexico and Arizona have a lot of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crazy stuff, and.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of your pictures and stories from your honeymoon.
Oh man, New Mexico was awesome. We even drove past a sign that said White Sands this way, and we were so tempted to drive back out to White Sands, for the nuclear tests and stuff. But we were like, no, we've got to stay on our track of our timeline. But yeah, it's just, hey, if that's Janice talking, is that Janice talking?
Yep.
Yeah.
She was laughing. I mean, she said it's okay when I butcher her name.
But yeah, we almost went to Arizona too on the honeymoon, but it was just too much driving and stuff like that. But we had all these spots we wanted to see. But Los Alamos.
Uh-huh.
That's up there in New Mexico. We drove, I believe, through there and everything, which is out there by that caldera.
Yes.
That's up there.
Right.
So we passed through. We had to go through this guarded gates, and the guy's like, "What are you coming through for?" And it's late at night too, and we're like, just passing through, and he's just like, "This time of the night?" Like, yeah, and he goes, "Well, do you have a full tank?" It's like, "Yeah, we actually just filled up." He goes, "You got supplies?" Yeah, and he goes, "Okay, just be careful." It's kind of very eerie because I guess there's as you're going over the mountain, there's nowhere to go for help, for nothing. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so we were both kind of driving at night, going, "Oh shit, what are we getting ourselves into?" But what we were doing was we were going to go up there to the caldera, which I didn't know was an active volcano. It's a super volcano. Had blown at one time, and it's right there in New Mexico. About this, maybe not the same size as Yellowstone, but damn near close to it. I'm like,
Wow.
holy shit. So we're up there on the mountain, and we were going to go up there to do some stargazing and stuff because there had been reports of strange sightings in the sky, within the last month or two prior to that. So we're like, let's go up there, but. You get up there and it is pretty damn eerie. There's no light, there's nothing. We're just up there, and it's just crazy, So,
Yeah.
and seeing the caldera, at night, the field is just yellow and bright as can be, and everything. So it was kind of just an eerie sensation to be up there. So.
At least you weren't alone to where if something happened,
Oh, we didn't see
or
it.
you both could witness.
True. But we were technically alone though.
Right.
It was pretty eerie out there. The whole time I'm looking around, going, "This would be a perfect place for Sasquatch, for us to get abducted by humans or aliens." Either way, it was.
Keep the doors locked.
we got out a little bit. But the temperature started to drop. Clouds were coming in, so we couldn't really see the sky or anything. So we were like, screw it, let's just go back to the hotel. So it was good. It was fun, but I think she is going back through there again in May, into around mid-May, late May. Her and the kids are going to go back through there, so she's going to show
Fun.
them all that. I don't get to go, but they are.
Yeah. Team road trip.
That'd be fun.
Yep.
I'd love to take you guys. I want to see if we can do anything in Lincoln
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Go do some Billy the Kid stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of fun.
I think it'd be cool if we could someday go to Abe Lincoln's home in Springfield, Illinois.
That'd be fun.
My nieces live.
I've never been. That'd be
Really?
fun. That would be fun.
My nieces live 45 minutes away, and our first trip up there, we went to the home, and they have the whole 2-block radius, like it was back in the day when the Lincolns lived there. And
When are we going to Illinois, Leo?
their house is haunted, and
Very cool.
So-
Very cool. I love historical stuff. I love doing all that. Be a part of the historical aspect and be a part of that history.
yes,
You know, that to me, just
Yeah.
is a lot of fun. That's why I love going to Dodge,
hmm
and hitting that place. It's
I
just,
find myself like I liked history when I was in school, but I guess I really didn't pay that much attention. Like most people, and then you get older and you get more into it,
Yeah.
and like I go places and something will happen or I hear something, and then I start Googling stuff because I want to learn more about it.
yeah. Well, working third shift at the hospital, I used to sit there and just do nothing but look up stuff. So,
Right.
I
brother-
educated myself a lot on history just on third shift. So,
Yeah, my brother's an electrician. He's had to do a lot at several area hospitals, and when he was, I can't remember which hospital it was, they had to work downstairs in the basement near the morgue, and he said he had stuff happen down there, telling me stuff. I was like, well, okay, I don't think they'll ever let us investigate there, but that would be cool.
not many hospitals will. You gotta
Yeah.
be closed or abandoned or
Mhm.
whatever. But
That's why I'm hoping we get into the one place in St. Joe.
yeah, I'm hoping for that too. At least as a team.
Yeah.
I don't want to join up or do anything like that. I like to do the whole team thing.
Yeah, that's better when it's a smaller group. Not that public things aren't good, but
Right.
it's better when it, like, at least the first time when it's just us, where we can get things happening before doing something else.
Right. I mean, I love the public events that we do, and don't get me wrong, it's entertaining to watch people get scared or have that moment that makes them a believer,
Yeah.
or it excites them to want to do it more. It's exciting for me to see that. I feel like we did our job that night if
Yeah.
that happens, but I miss just doing team stuff and everything. So
Stacy and I were talking the other night about our 100th episode where we did the one location, just us, and live streamed it all. And telling her how amazing that was, just us as a team together,
right.
and the stuff that we had happen. And that was like one of the only times that I, as a part of the team, was a team event that was pretty surreal experience.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to. Yes, sir.
Oh, there's some echoes going on.
Oh.
I'll just
Am I that funny?
I may be doing some stuff behind the scenes that's probably breaking things. Let me see real quick here. Found the video. I was trying to get it edited real quick. What is it?
And this is from a private investigation that you're working on there?
Yes. But I don't see it all of a sudden. Oh, wait a minute. That's probably why.
Technology.
Okay, so I know we were talking about things with orbs and stuff like that. Just trying to see why we're getting echoes. Oh, I don't know why, but that's alright. Here's a video I'll play real quick. It's the same one from the intro, the new intro that we beginning of the show, and we'll show it again at the end of the episode today. But this is something that we caught. I mean, it is whatever it is. Form your own opinion. So take a look. It's Jake on the left and me on the right, and you'll see something move across the screen. So Here we go.
All that is that. All that is that. All that is that. All that is that. All that is that.
It's right by the left elbow, my left elbow.
All that is
Your Jake's, I guess your elbow then, huh?
Yeah, it's me on the right, so it's my left elbow. Don't know if I
Oh,
can.
wow.
Let me see if I can pause it. Maybe. Oh, not too far. Oh. Can't really pause it.
It's fast.
Yeah. Dang it. Don't know if I'll be able to get the chance to pause it. Yeah, it's not gonna let me stop it. So like I said, you can see my left elbow right by the light. There's something that kind of goes, it's just like a rod, kind of a mist. I mean, I don't know.
It's not like a floating hair or anything. It doesn't even look like that.
No.
'Cause it's pretty fast and moving on, you know. You know what I mean? It's...
I mean, we really weren't moving at the time. I mean, other than I shifted my way, but it
Right.
came up from behind me. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not always big on orbs, but when I saw that one, I was a little interested into it. Just because it wasn't something I was expecting.
Right.
So,
I did pick that, you know, that one orb at the 20th Century Murdoch that you liked.
the still picture of
Yeah. The one that I said, you know, I counted to 3 and it said, you know, if you're over there walking, step forward and show yourself 1, 2, 3. And I took a photograph and there's a bright orb just over the, like, right over the floor, just huge. And I caught it on camera, just my regular snap photograph camera.
Yeah.
Could show that one here 1 second.
It's pretty cool, because at the time we could hear up ahead of us as we were talking, like the floor was creaking. You could tell it was like footsteps, and it just was walking in front of us and popping the floor. And so I was like, if that's you, you know, show yourself, and you know, I'm gonna count to 3 and show yourself. And I got that.
Yeah.
I showed it to Leo and everybody that night, and they were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Because normally, you know, that's what we're taught. You know, orbs suck.
Yeah.
Orbs are stupid. Don't.
Yeah,
You
they're
can't
not
really do
real.
anything with it. Yeah.
That I've only honestly ever seen one on an investigation, and it was at the Scottish Rite downtown, and our group was on like the first rotation for the theater area, and I was outside in the hallway, and I saw this, and it was pretty big orb.
Right.
Because there's that common misconception like the dust particles or
Right.
orbs, and they're not. But
And I think Janice said that she got a screenshot of it. Of your.
Oh, right,
So that's what she's saying.
it's like
Yeah.
I was standing in the hallway outside of the theater at the Scottish Rite, and it came through one wall from the theater area.
Yeah.
And I saw it with my eye, and I grabbed my phone trying to take a picture of it, and it was just kind of moving so fast, and it kind of like slowed down and kind of hovered in one spot.
Right.
And I hit video because I was going to try to get a video of it, and then it just like shot, and I could see it before I could even hit to video it. It shot so fast, and I could see it not only with my eye, but go across the screen of my phone through another wall.
Right. Well, you know, there's a difference between, like, you know, some of the orbs that you see in a photograph
Mhm.
that you can tell is definitely just dust and dirt or bugs or something like that. It's obvious. But when you're seeing it in person and you're seeing it like flow right, you know, past you, a person, a wall, seeing the red orbs that, you know, the red pin dots that you see every once in a while, that to me is like energy manifesting, because every time I start seeing the red dots, it seems like something is about to happen. Something is about to be like, I don't know, just very prominent about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And like being outside, you know, when we see the large orbs out, like in Tahlequah and out in the cemetery, they're just flying past us, different colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, on video it looks like orbs just flying around us. You know, those you can't explain, but in photographs, in a room and stuff like that, people are like, "Oh, look at all this." I'm like, sorry, you don't have, you know, 180 different spirits in that one picture. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just dust.
Yeah, I think there's that common misconception because I know once I started doing more investigations with the team before I joined, it helped me learn a lot more about like the
Right.
difference in them between dust and other things versus, and it took me seeing that first orb
Right.
too that kind of helped.
Right.
I can put that picture up.
Okay.
Let me get this real quick here.
So as he's gonna put that picture up, this is at the 20th Century Murdoch Theater. This is back when, shoot, you had just begun, right?
It was 2011.
Yeah, 2011. We got a chance to be inside the theater all night long and broke up into teams. And we actually had KSN News with us all night long too this night.
Yep.
Stephanie Bergman and her cameraman
Mhm.
was with us all night long.
It was during Halloween. She did a feature
Right.
for Haunted Kansas,
Right.
which we've been on there a couple times.
Which is
Darren
and
Dito.
then Darren Dito a
Yep.
few years later.
So the thing with Jason, he took pictures in succession, like he was saying, where he was just taking, like he should, and then he was saying, you know, this is the first picture he took, and then we'll kind of walk through it. So this is the first picture. It's not that big circle thing on your screen. That's the table that's
Yeah.
sit up against the side.
And that's the flash in the far back.
Yeah. So Jason's dead center in the room.
We got pieces of equipment on the ground.
Yep. Like I said, the big circle is not the quote unquote orb. Give me a second here, I'll get the second one up. So the next picture he said, this is when Jason says, you know, if you're here, come out and it's a big ass orb. People are commenting on it. So, okay. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll zoom in just a second here. So if you look next to the big ass table, down kind of like a straight.
Where there's two
Left.
pieces of equipment there, there's now a third object on near
Yep.
the ground.
It's pretty bright too.
Yeah.
So let me get into the next thing here. Hang on.
And what I did was, you know, I took that first photograph, but then I said, if you're out there walking, because I could hear the footsteps out there in front of us, I said, if you're there, please, by all means, show yourself, and I'm going to count to 3, just appear. And I did, and I got that.
Like right on
Good
command.
catch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was pretty cool, you know. I've tried it several times in other locations. It doesn't happen very often, but you know, this one time something like this happened, and it was, to me, it was
Oh, shoot, wrong one.
pretty cool. Just because, you know, I think Leo and everybody else that night who looked at it was like, normally would say no, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it made me feel good that I actually caught something
Yeah.
decent there.
I wish we could get more stuff like that every time, but that's not, you know.
We need more time to do stuff on our own. You
Yeah.
can't do stuff a lot on public events.
Mhm.
Public events are just for fun. I mean, occasionally you can come away with some amazing evidence too
Yeah.
with your guests, but it's I don't know, the private events when it's just the team working and doing stuff, you capture a lot more stuff.
Yes.
So
Sorry, I'm trying to get the other version of it.
no, you're good.
I'm
good.
having issues here.
I
trying to
know
find the
it.
right picture. There it
That
is.
looks so familiar. I can't wait to get back to that place too.
I know. I need to get a hold of them and talk to them.
So let me get this zoomed up a little better. Okay, so this is the picture zoomed in a little better. So you see the millimeter on the floor, you see the big ass table, and then you got the thing in the middle that Jason.
Yeah.
That looks like a little tiny
coming right at you.
almost.
I mean, if you really zoomed up on it, like I could on my camera.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, I know. It almost looks like there's something like I don't know. It looks like something from science. It looks like something under a microscope that's like living right there. It's strange.
It's almost like there's like a little dot.
But if there was, and we had been sitting for quite a while. We weren't up and about moving around, so there wasn't a lot of dust or anything. And you don't see dust on any of the other photographs. Mm-hmm. It's just that after I asked specifically for it to appear on a count of 3, right as it was like walking through, because you could hear the footsteps, and that's what happened. And I loved it. It was.
I love it when you get the intelligent responses like that when you ask for something. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but when something like that happens, it's just an amazing.
I know. I was jumping up and down. I was like, I actually caught that. It's like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not, of course, Jake's photograph at the Wolf Hotel kind of blows that one out of the water, but,
Still, that one was good, Jason.
I got a dot, he got a full figure, But hey, it worked, it still felt good.
It's still paranormal.
I hope. Of course, that place, crazy owners at the time and stuff like that. We haven't been able to ever get back in because they've left, and who knows? I don't know anybody who owns it now. So, people, But
well, sounds like we need to make new friends.
I'll allow you to do so.
Okay. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
So this next thing I'm going to play real quick here is kind of going back to the lightning rod orb we caught at the house, private home. This is the one I was kind of referencing earlier where we interacted with a teammate of mine, or ours, not mine, ours. The reason why I think it's her is because, and we'll discuss it afterwards here.
Okay.
Hope this is the right one. I should have probably reviewed this better. But, what the hell.
We're.
Hopefully this works. Oh, that's the wrong one. Psych! That's the one I showed you earlier. For the reason it didn't.
He's always calling us the amateurs over here.
Right?
I don't know what happened actually, why I did that. It's weird. Try
Look
it
at the
again.
easy part because we don't have.
Oh, I know.
Okay, here we go again. Let's try it again.
Rose. Oh, I remember that night.
If you don't hear it, but you put headphones on. You like them all. Even though we often know that orbs are mostly dust or insects, notice on the right side of the screen. Is this Erin trying to manifest only moments after showing us that she likes the color red on the 360? Why is it doing that?
Well, because it moves back and forth.
You see pacing?
Yeah. He's on your side now.
That was wild.
That was cool. You like?
Oh.
Okay. So the blue light, you messed with it already. There's a whole bunch of colors. You should show us which one you like the most.
That one? Red? That's crazy, dude. Notice our lights on the 360 turned to red in response to Jake's question of lighting up their favorite color. Red just happened to be the favorite color of one of our former investigators, Erin, who passed away tragically in a car accident in 2019. Did we just make contact with our friend, Erin, aka Red? Dude, you like them all. What in the hell, dude? Even though we often know that orbs are mostly dust or insects, notice on the right side of the screen. Is this Erin trying to manifest only moments after showing us that she likes the color red on the 360? Why is it doing that?
Well, because it moves back and forth.
You see pacing?
Yeah. He's on your side now.
That was wild.
That was cool. You like the red one.
Alright, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in the video. You hear me talking about how we're not big on orbs and all that stuff. It's probably most of the time dust, but it was the fact that we were asking for interaction with somebody, and it happened to be. We all felt strongly, and the thing with this house is the person that we were investigating, they knew Aaron also as well, so they had a strong connection to Aaron, and of course as we did, and
Especially Rose too.
yeah,
Rose
Rose was there, Jake was there, I was there,
Yeah.
and we were doing that, and immediately once we saw it go red and it stopped on red, because before it was different, doing different colors, after the fact,
Right.
but it was just the fact he said, "What's your favorite color?" And it's like red, stop there. The reason we think it's even more so Aaron is because we thought we were doing some what do you call it? Sorry, the Wonder Box is what I'll call it. We were asking for certain things, and you hear this female come through and call out for Rose's name, like Rose, and it's like she's talking to Rose, and we were saying, "Is that you?" And she was pretty much interacting with us, so
Right.
we're fairly confident it was Aaron that we talked to. I think when we shot this video, it was maybe about a year after the fact, and then maybe 6 months to a year after she had passed away, tragically. I think on my dates were wrong. I think it was 2020, and I put in 2019 in the video. I need to fix that. It's never been released. That's the first time we've ever showed it outside of the
Right.
group. But I don't know. And this isn't the first time we've had a deceased team member. We've had 3, unfortunately,
Yeah.
on our team alone, and we've interacted with all 3 of them after the fact, and it's just. There's
And
no
it wasn't
telltale
even on
signs that-
purpose. It wasn't even like
Yeah.
we went after trying to seek them out. They actually came through,
Right.
like, Larry calling you out and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Larry, the one last place I investigated Larry, he was there apparently after the fact, and our friend Lena actually said, "Hey, somebody's looking for you."
Yeah.
I think they came out and got me, didn't they? We were outside in the front, and they came out and got me and said, "Hey, they're looking for you." I'm like, "Why?" Well, I mean, we were letting Lena do her, group session. So I came back inside, and they said, "Oh, there you are." They said, "Looking for somebody like." What did he call me? Like a lion, basically,
Yeah,
which I'm
Leo
Leo.
Lion.
Go figure. And he had a big beard and all the stuff. Of course, I had the beard.
He's a gentle giant.
Well, he came through as well. Well, we haven't really discussed this, but he came through in Dodge
Oh, really?
this last time. And who did he call out? Roth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. We were talking to the guy who was haunting the place.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden a different voice came through during the Frank's Box session.
Yeah.
Different voice came through and started just hollering out, Roth.
Mm.
And he actually said his name,
Oh, wow.
like Larry.
Yeah.
And you hear Roth on audio going, who the hell is Larry?
Oh, my God.
And then all of a sudden,
Roth.
but all of a sudden, the two of us look at each other and we're both like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
and he just steps back and goes, do you remember what you loaned me the first night we ever investigated? And the voice goes, I sure do.
Yeah.
And Rose turned around and told us all, instead of waiting for an answer from the person, he goes, yeah, it was a flashlight.
Flashlight, right?
It was a
Yeah,
flashlight.
I thought it was.
And it was
Yeah.
just like he was just stopping in to say hi.
Or he's always with us. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think all of them are really,
Yeah.
but I think
I hope so.
just in at times of need or whatever the case may be, we
Or
just reached out.
maybe they find the case interesting, so they want to
Yeah.
go.
I mean, they were all active members of the team, and they've all played vital roles at some point,
Right.
during our many years of investigating. And I hate to bring it up, but one of my favorite ones is Nicole. When you guys were at the salon, I think she was just getting pissed off because you guys were looking around trying to figure out what was doing whatever, and
Oh,
she was like, "Look under the chair," whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it
I
came
do.
through as a Class A AVP, and
it's a crazy, and the only way I know it's her is because of her enunciation
Yeah.
of words and
Yeah.
how she spoke. And it was well, you were there,
Yeah.
and we were just standing there as 2 guests because we were going to do like a little public investigation, but only 2 people showed up. We had a handful of others but never did.
right.
So I was playing like my audio thing that I got from down Texas, and you play it for 20 seconds, and then you and then you go back and listen, and what we were asking is like, because we were hearing what sounded like toys or marbles being played,
Right.
so we were thinking it was like a little kid, and we were like, and I already told the two guests, we're gonna ask our questions out loud. As soon as I hit record, we're gonna ask,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna go silent as soon as I hit record. Of course, one of the guests, that went right over her head. She didn't understand. So as soon as I hit record, because we were asking, "Where are you? Can you tell us where you're at? Can you tell us where you're at?" Pinpoint is, tell us where in the room are you?
Right.
And as soon as I hit record, the lady's like, "Can you tell us what your name is?" I'm like, "You're stupid."
Right.
And so I hit stop, I went 20 seconds, I stopped, and I played it back. And of course, you hear this lady blurting out, "What's your name?" And all of a sudden, in the background, you hear a female voice that's none of us talking.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear, "Why don't you try looking under the chair?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, yes, ma'am, I know who you are. Okay."
You and I kind of, at that point, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
But you and I kind of looking at each other, and
I'm like, that's a clear voice from back behind us, and
Yep.
why don't we go look under the chair? Because I think the chair is where the kid is hiding. It's just,
I think after that, like you and I, and then like at least one of the one guest that did speak out loud, after you asked the one question, went back with us.
yeah.
No, I guess that was Ruth and I that went back with her, and something else happened, and Ruth and I are like looking at each other like, really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, there were certain ways that, just like you said, enunciation was the biggest thing.
The
and-
voice,
Yeah.
enunciation.
Yeah,
You can
it's-
tell we've all been around her enough that, I could tell.
Yeah.
And then, it's just other moments and stuff that
Yeah.
we've had. But, it's crazy to think that 3 former people of our team are still with us and still talking and still right there.
Guiding us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know, it's just crazy to think. It goes on a whole bunch of different questions that we have about life,
Right.
afterlife, stuff like that. Everybody, if you're a Christian, you believe a certain way. If you're not, you believe this and that or whatever. Some people believe that once you're dead, you're gone, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But yet we capture this kind of stuff, and it's like, okay, so
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's what we do on a daily basis when we do the investigations. We're talking to somebody from the past. We're just
Yeah.
not so well connected to them
right.
with these 3 individuals that we were.
And these weren't even that far gone from the past. This is like
yeah,
current.
for no reason.
This is like current stuff. And then not to mention the other things we've captured at the salon. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we told you, but Stacy and Andy here were helping me get ready for one of the walking tours.
Sure.
And we were over there at the salon, and it was you and Stacy both,
Yeah.
who that one. So where we usually set up all the gear,
Mm-hmm.
in front, like where you get your hair done, shampoo and stuff.
Right.
That one room right there. Coming from that room, just a little taller than me, was a puff of smoke.
Really?
It came out like a cigar smoke.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they saw it. It just clear
Huh.
as day. Yeah.
Is it okay if you're facing the hair dryer? Is it the room on the left?
Yeah, if you're facing
The one with the refrigerator and stuff?
If you're like the check-in and check-out counters here, and then you got where you get their shampoos and everything.
Yeah.
Not the 2 doors
Okay,
here, but
that's
the
the
other
one.
one where all
That's
the
one of my
makeup
favorite
is.
ones.
Yeah.
That room for some reason.
Yeah,
I
it wasn't-
like both rooms actually.
Right.
But,
And it was like coming out towards us.
mm,
So it wasn't going the other way, it was coming out towards us.
understood.
Like somebody was standing there just smoking a cigar.
And I want to say I know which spirit it was, because after Lena's been there
Right.
doing stuff, so yeah.
We don't want to tell people too
No,
much.
no, I wouldn't
I want
say
people
that.
to experience it,
Yeah.
help try to figure out who's there.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say who it was, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. like Janice is saying, she said she recently heard on a show, energy never dies, it just changes.
Right.
That's right. I mean, you can't really create energy. It's always there. I mean,
Right.
so who are we to think that it couldn't be, that, I mean, we don't know. We don't understand the afterlife. And none of us have experienced, hopefully,
Right.
come back right. But, I mean, it's got to be something in there, And the thing that one of the Nicole ones always just blew my mind is her and Ruth had a conversation,
Right.
and she promised she'd
I
come
didn't
back
watch
and
that
talk to us.
conversation.
See, I wasn't there at the time,
I watched it.
and she promised she would come back and try to interact with us, and she has. I mean, she's done it. The show. I mean, I think one time it was just you, myself, and I don't remember who else was here that day.
Ruth.
Was Ruth here that night?
Was it?
I feel like
Yeah, maybe it was
Jake,
Dan. I think it was Dan. Yeah.
But we had good around. We could hear her audibly in
It was right
the
outside.
staircase. I mean,
Yeah, it
right
was
there
right
talking
outside
to
by the
us.
staircase.
Yeah, she has, like I said, a distinct voice, and I'm just looking at her like, what the hell? I
And you saw like a light or something, or a shadow behind me, or something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, why not? I mean, so, yeah, it is weird. I don't know why we had so much tragedy with our team, but we've had, like I said, 3 in I don't know how many years, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of life, unfortunately. So, yeah,
It's what happens when you're so close and tight knit with everybody.
right,
and then-
family. So
and
through and through, but yeah, it's crazy stuff that we come up with. I mean, there's so many places we've been over the years that the stuff that we get and see, get to experience. I feel blessed. I mean, to even have it, to be able to experience that.
Right.
Just going to underground, someplace I never knew existed, and just falling through ceilings and whatever else. It's all part of the experience, man. So.
I hate the fact that I laughed at that, but well, I didn't realize how bad because you stopped,
Right.
but then you got hurt though too. It hurt your leg.
I mean, somebody was looking out for me that day because
I know.
if it had been anywhere else in the building, I probably would have fell 30 feet, and who knows what happened.
It was just the fact
Broke
that you
my
made
bones.
the point to tell Cody to watch
Yeah.
his step and then you fall.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. My first thought was, oh shit, I'm not dead. But second thought was like, oh crap, how am I gonna pay for this? Because this is gonna be costly.
Right.
Luckily, the owners were saying they were gonna remodel anyways in the office area. I just needed them to push to do it more. I'm like, well, that doesn't help me
I'm
any.
gonna pull a Kmart commercial. Did you ship your pants?
No, but I felt like wet on my leg. I thought I was bleeding out actually.
Oh,
I went down and
Just that sensation.
it just felt wet. I'm like, I'm bleeding. I know I gotta be bleeding everywhere. And I went into the bathroom immediately and looked, and there's nothing there, but it was
Right.
ginger and sore. And it was, I think it was the cold I was feeling because I was
yeah.
trauma. I mean,
Right.
I can show you guys the pictures, and it's pretty gruesome.
Well, you're in shock from it too.
Oh,
it's
God,
just
yeah.
from
Yeah.
not from anything paranormal. It's just the idea
Yeah.
of you fell and
Well, the thing it will stand out for me forever is the feeling and knowing that I went down, but looking down and see where I could see light. And I looked down and I knew that's how I knew it was in the office. But there was a tall, like I said, dresser credenza that my foot got caught on to stop my the force, but I was on a joint. That's what the floor joint,
Right.
or the ceiling joints, whatever. That if that thing gives away, I'm through it.
right.
And I'm like, of all places to hit, it's just like, I didn't hit in the middle of it, I hit right on the corner. It's just like, how did I not go through? I mean, it was crazy. But,
We heard the noise and the
Oh, it was
commotion.
fucking
We
loud.
all went running.
yeah, it was loud.
It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. But,
I didn't even know you guys had gone upstairs like that.
Stupid me, like I said, I'm very afraid of heights. I don't know why in my mind, because I was just,
It was just the curiosity.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
for the love of what we do, but it's just the fact that I was getting real weird EMFs high up in the air, and
Yeah.
it was an open, like, dome kind of area where this place was, inside this area. I was like, what could be triggering this? Because there's nothing there.
Right.
So I was talking to the owner about it. He's like, we can go up there and look because there's a ceiling above us.
Right.
I was like, or attic, you can crawl up there and get into it. I was like, oh, cool, let's go. Not even thinking twice about it. And yeah, well,
Yeah.
live and learn.
He was
So-
happy to take you up there, so
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay, well, then it has to be safe at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that we were in the dark and
Right.
everything looked like plywood. And it wasn't, obviously.
And hence, we were also doing this on a morning.
It was a weird
Yeah, we were doing that early morning investigation,
Yeah.
so like it was starting to get daylight outside, and
But you couldn't tell, though.
Right.
because the place was so dark in there. You
It's
thought
pitch black up there.
it was the total mind when we come out. It's just like, oh my gosh, this should be in the middle of the night.
It's just that we could
day.
hear people in the cars and stuff
Yeah.
outside every so often, and then the construction crew showed up, and we were
Mhm.
like, okay, well, we can't go any further.
Very, very bizarre. Yeah. We had a lot of good evidence though.
And then you guys went back another time
Mm-hmm.
to do at nighttime,
That one was just
and
good.
you guys, I couldn't make it, but you guys
Yeah.
went, and the evidence you showed was amazing. So
And we got stuff thrown at us. It was like poltergeist activity. I mean, on command, basically, and just weird shit just happening.
yeah,
Like
voices, audible voices that
Mhm.
you guys
in
got.
between us and the owner, and I think it was or I remember it was Jeremiah Roth sitting next to me. I think maybe all three of us, and then the owner was right behind, in the middle of us, and he even heard. He's like, "Is it what the hell's that?" You know, he's like, "This is shit," basically. But then we asked for something to happen, and we got they use a, like, you know, you go to Pizza Hut, they use the Parmesan shakers, you know, the cheese shakers.
Mhm.
They put sand on there, or like, no, I'm sorry, sawdust in there because it's a dance floor. So they sprinkle it on the dance floor, that way, you know, nobody falls and slides, whatever. But this thing as loud as can be is chucked at us, basically. And it's just like, the hell's that? And I look down and it's on the floor right next to us, and it's just like, he goes, that should be over by the wall. And so it flew probably a good 20 feet probably. But it's all loud and everything on, just great chaos. That was the same spot where I was feeling like like I got burned. Like I was standing there and I was like, oh my god, my back's on fire. And not Andy, I'm sorry. Michelle had her thermal FLIR with her, so she points. This is weird. I just lost feed. We talk about paranormal shit. The feed went down.
You lost feet?
Yeah, it's back. It was just a quick flicker or whatever, but now it's doing it again. So, sorry, I'm getting distracted by that. Anyways, I felt like, you know, fire, and she puts her thermal on me, and she's like, "Oh my God, your back is glowing red, like something burned me, basically."
Right.
And I don't even know what it was, but because Renee was like standing right next to me, she's like, "Let me put the millimeter next to you." So she puts the millimeter next to me, and things just starts climbing, like hot fire. Don't know what it was, but I asked, was there a fire there, I think, or something maybe, and the owner, I can't remember if he said it was or wasn't. The thing is, this place we were at is known for a mob hangout,
Yeah.
so a lot of times it was bombed, like, you know, people would throw Molotov cocktails, and I don't know if I was experiencing something, like a fire at a location or what, but it was wild.
Well, that kind of goes into play also with how Roth felt up at the Midland.
Oh,
And how
yeah.
they third floor caught fire
Right.
back in the day, and he was like alone. We were there actually. It was myself, him, and Larry, just wandering around the hotel that night, and they allowed us to just do that. And as we were trying to find Larry, because Larry was kind of went off on his own, and all of a sudden he just felt like this burning sensation falling on him. His back of his neck, his shoulders, and
Mhm.
he was just like, I feel like I'm on fire all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like embers were falling down on him and
Right.
stuff. So weird, and his skin back there was all red, and it's just like, what the hell is this? And he's like, am I on fire? Did something I was like, well, you're always on fire, man. But no, but honestly, it looked like he had, like, I don't know. It was weird, but so maybe like reminiscent of the past, you know, it just keeps like, can objects do the same thing as a residual? You know, not just the person, but can fire and objects and stuff like that do residual stuff? You know, haunted objects and stuff like that, or can the fire recreate itself, replay that moment?
Mhm.
What do you
I think
think?
it's very possible.
You know,
I mean, we've had a lot happen over the years that I believe anything could happen.
but I think it's quite possible it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just sorry about the deers at home. I know the feed kept dropping. Yeah, I don't know. We were. It seemed like we used to always get that a lot. We talked about Tahlequah, you know, and it's funny because I remember Carl used to always make fun of us. He's like, "Oh, you guys said the T word," because every time we did that, it got pretty hectic.
Yeah.
And in our discussions, and it seemed like the spirits would interact with us and kill our feed. But yeah, no, Bree, it was a cool place. We were supposed to try to get back in there, but I don't know, some things have happened. The thing that was crazy about that place is we caught some weird EVP evidence that the owners told us to not publicize
Maybe
it.
because of the fact that we caught what we caught. Maybe that's the reason why they don't want us to come back.
Could be. I mean,
Because we could stir up a lot of stuff from the past and people that are still living today that don't want anything to be found out.
yep, they didn't want the things to be publicized, so
Yeah.
we didn't give it was specific names, and they went through a whole time like, oh, that's this, that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't want to know this
we-
because shit.
we had when we did the reveal to the owner or to the manager. He also let a couple other people,
Just good
other
for close
gentlemen,
friends, yeah.
who showed up, who were specific people who knew a specific person from the past that had some, like you said, mafia, ties.
Right.
And it was one of those times when they were listening to the audio, because I think they were just like, okay, well, you say you caught something, let's hear it. That kind of,
Right.
Gangster style, let's show it, play it.
First, they were real non-believers until we started presenting shit for them. They're like,
As soon as they heard the voice, they lost their shit. They were like, oh my God, that's him.
yep.
They were like, and then they were just, real quiet, and they just kept listening, and they were like, yeah, okay, so you guys are actually capturing them talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's a big reason if we were just asked to not come back.
I don't know.
I mean, I thought about that over the time,
Yeah.
if
quite
we got
possible.
some personal things that they
Let's
don't
play it,
want
I'm
out.
kidding.
Yeah, let's do it. It's,
I mean, I have it all in my
It's-
possession. I shouldn't say this.
I don't know.
I have it in my possession, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to share that. And
I mean, maybe Ruff can work his magic and we can get back in.
there's talk that we were gonna go back in, and we were supposed to, because they had ties to other places. We were supposed to get in, but now it's since been torn down.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a place in Wichita that just burned down recently that I wanted to go investigate, where I know it's documented 2 murders happened in the basement. And I've been there once for a concert before they next owners took over and killed the people. And I had another friend at work that told me that he's been in there and it's pretty spooky down in the basement of this area. And I found out last week it burned down. I'm like, God damn it. I've been putting off for years because I'm like, we're never going to get in there. And then now we can't. It's gone. So I'm like, God damn it.
You have to tell me later.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know if it was done by arsonists, or if it was something inside. Because the place has been closed for a while now. And I don't know. I don't know what the story is behind it.
Interesting.
Because it was during the big snowstorm, too, that hit, that you would think nobody would be around this area. But who knows? I haven't heard the full story as to why it's burned down, but I just caught it recently.
Yeah.
Caught wind of it, shall we say. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out.
Trying to read what everybody's writing.
Talking about Bliska.
Oh, Velisca.
Yeah, which we'll go there plenty of times. We have a
Yeah,
open
we,
invite.
I mean, Johnny Hauser's been on our show, so.
Yeah. But then you get him back on again, because we never
He's
finished
a hell of a guy.
never part 2
Right.
of our discussion with him, which was
He's
fun.
been busy lately, too,
Mhm.
so.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yes, he has. All of them have been up there. So. from what I can-
In time, we've got some cool places that we are doing that hasn't been done a lot,
Yep.
or if ever.
Right.
I know there's like the one place that Dan has an inn with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody, if not, I mean, maybe a few people have been in there to
Right.
do stuff, but looking forward to that one for sure.
Nice.
And locations that we're talking about, we'll explain it a little bit more as we
Yeah.
go. I will be advertising what is going to happen in 2 weeks here pretty soon. That way, because I do plan on trying to go live, because I'm going to ask for permission to do so.
That one.
So I'm going to try and go as live as much as possible so we can get as many viewers
Yeah.
watching us do what we do. We're going to have a little meeting with everybody who's going to be going to see how we want to map this out and do it. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun investigation. I
Yep.
can't wait.
Definitely.
I just don't, it's traveling and all that stuff, so hopefully we're not worn out. But, we do get it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Right.
So that was not bad.
Good time.
Yeah, I hope so. If we don't all pass out. We're getting old.
You are.
Come on.
We're getting old. No, I feel good. Like after Wamigo, I felt really good. It's just that drive by myself, listening to the same old music
You
over
don't
and over
have
again.
Dan and I in the back seat, like,
Did you not
trying to
hear
keep you
that?
awake.
What'd you hear?
There's a voice right next to me whispered something.
Nope.
No.
Holy shit, dude. I hope the mic picked that up.
It's over by you. I'm
Fucking
sorry
freaked me
I was
out.
loud and talking, but I saw your reaction.
Holy crap. That was crazy.
I tell people at work, you should watch our podcast. You never know, you might hear something that we don't.
I almost thought it said Leo, but I don't know. It was like right in my ear, like loud as can be. That's why I was just like, holy shit. Okay.
Are you off your meds again?
I'm not taking it.
Well, you're getting older. I didn't know if you were on stuff.
Oh no, I'm still good, man. I'm 100% good. So, but that was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard that.
Yeah, see, it's not just me.
Weird
There's shit
sounds
banging around right here.
happening.
So that's why I love doing this show because we get into some more cases. We
I
got
love being
obvious- Yeah.
Yes. It's saying that it missed us, apparently.
Yeah, Rhea says saying, Leo, go investigate. You're not wrong. No, I've been investigating.
So, for the team, we need to
The
do
studio.
his place, the studio and this place,
Yes.
whenever his wife goes out of town.
Yes.
Wife and kids go out of town. That way they're not a part of it and don't have to freak her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she watch this?
Huh?
Does she watch this?
Sometimes.
Okay.
but-
Dang it. I'm sorry if she watches
Oh,
that.
that's fine. That tap was loud. I don't know what those was like bang bang
I know.
right next to us. Hopefully you guys heard
It's
that.
not really
I
the
don't-
TV because the TV never does that.
No, why would it? Oh, there's again right there. I was talking, dang it. It wasn't as loud. Sorry, I'm just listening.
Hey, we
I can
called
hear-
out 3 people that we used to work with.
Yeah.
Tonight,
Yeah.
So, and
That sounded female, but it didn't sound like in the two female. It could have been, I guess, one of them, but it didn't sound like either one of them.
I haven't heard either one of them in a long time. So
That was a whisper. Sorry, I'm just listening.
You two keep talking. I'll be right back.
Wow. Okay. Sorry about that, guys, for the distraction. But like I said, I've got to open the mics. I'm gonna go back after the show and watch it because I'm curious.
Absolutely.
Because you'll see my reaction. As a genuine reaction. Didn't scare me, just surprised me. I was just
Right.
like I almost feel like the breath, like the air you make because they whisper. It's just like whoa.
So you said you've been having a little bit more activity here.
No, not a little bit, a lot of activity. I've been having some weird, freaky
Is
shit
it
that everybody's
anything in
saying.
connection to California?
I don't know. Well, some of the times it is.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it is because I've been down here.
A certain person or a certain people?
People. 'Cause I've been down here in the studio by myself, and I always.
Wonder why they're
I always
down.
have shit going on right. That's why you see. Well, the equipment's always sort of down here, but that's why you see like this SB7 stuff sitting right here in front of me,
Right.
the EDI machines and the K2s and everything, and just
So why do
all
you-
my equipment sitting right here on the floor next to me.
Why do you
I'm
think
using
they're
it.
attached to you? Just because you called them out, or just
Maybe.
the fact of your high interest in certain things?
Well, it's like anything. If they know you can hear and talk to them, that's what I always tell them.
That's
I
true.
can hear you and
That's true.
talk to you. If you want to come talk to me, here's your chance. I want to hear your story, or I want to at least talk to you on a one-on-one basis, whatever. But I think it's because I called them out directly, and at the time, I mean, if you go back and watch that feed, when Jason's talking about is when I went to David Oman house out in, California, 150 feet from the Sharon Tate murders. And Her Friends by Charles Manson. I was calling, at this time, Charles Manson was already dead. He died in, 2016?
Yeah.
This was 2019, December 2019.
Yep.
It was also, in August that year, was the 50-year anniversary. So I wish I could have been out there sooner, but I couldn't have been, so regardless. But I got to interact. He let me have free reign roaming the place. And when he was on the show with me, I was on his show at the time. But I asked specifically in the basement, certain area, if Charles Manson was there. And if at this time, once again, one of his followers who did the killing, Susan Atkins or Sadie Makelitz or whatever you want to call her, different names I went by, she was there too. You hear me say on camera, I just saw a shadow, and then I say, oh, I heard a woman. Well, my recorder's caught a female kind of talking like she does. She has a real whispery, kind of sultry voice, we'll call it. So I was asking if that was her, and she says, I can't remember what I asked it specifically because it's been 2-3 years at this point now, but she basically told me, I had to do that, right? But it was kind of like a real, real like sing-song kind of a way, but it was whispery, kind of like her voice, and I was like, holy shit. But then the viewers, I'm talking, and at the time I was at the SB7, I think it was, I'm talking whatever, and I'm getting some communication, and I didn't say that at first. It sounded like Charles Manson. I'm saying, Charles, I know you weren't here, but I know you came back at some point to, there's reports that he went back that same night to make sure they did it justice.
They all say he did.
That's
he
what the
went
rumor
back,
was.
and he was just totally.
Mm-hmm.
He was upset that they didn't do it right.
He missed that again. Said, hey. Anyways, but so they interacting, and you hear this real twangy southern voice kind of sounding, which Charles Manson had, and it was like, even the viewers were watching like, holy crap, that sounds just like Charles Manson. And I was like, that's kind of what I was thinking too, as I told the viewers, because I'm pretty sure I interacted with him. Well, it seemed like he followed me back to Kansas, because remember, shortly after we went down to the salon, we did the live Cryptic Heartland podcast there, and same thing was coming through, the same voice, Charles Manson's voice possibly. We played Helter Skelter, the Beatles song, and it came through. Dan had it on his phone.
He just like secretly, he didn't tell us what he was doing. He just like secretly held his phone
and started
playing it, and then it came through the SB7.
Right. Yeah.
That was a pretty surreal experience for Manson to even come through that night, because it still blows me away, because all these years hearing him on interviews and just hearing the voice through the spirit box was just surreal.
In Kansas, of all places.
Yeah.
And then
right dab in the middle of Kansas.
And saying he's going to get you.
He's going to kill you. I'm like, no, you're not. But,
and then at the end,
yeah,
when we said, all right, we're gonna close it out for tonight. What did he say at the very end?
Amen.
Amen.
It's almost like I could just see him with his arms going up just saying that.
Yeah, it's just wild. The whole thing was surreal. It's just like, holy crap, this is happening. And live.
Yes.
There, and then also on our show. It's just, but no, I don't know. I mean, I can interact with him still, I feel like. Any time I've reached out a couple of times to see if he's here, and I've got some good interaction with him. I record all that in videos.
So you have a ton of stuff here that you haven't shared.
I don't know. I don't think it's always them. I think it's other people, whether it's somebody I've known who's passed away, or some of the stuff I've seen here, I can't explain. It sounds so made up. It's okay, like when you watch a paranormal show and they do a reenactment,
right?
They always have some, think of Ghost Adventures especially. They go over dramatize everything, Their imaging is real dark and, supposed to be scary. Well, I was telling Jason after our last show before whatever, I was telling him upstairs in my kitchen, I have like a galley kitchen where I'm in the middle of the two walls and you can see a walkway by the stairs up here. I'm just happened to look because I heard a noise, and I'm just looking, and the light downstairs is on, and all of a sudden I see this thing kind of skirt along, kind of like bounce along, but it's tall, black, shadow person, and the way it moved reminds me of the Ghost Adventures thing, where it's real choppy and kind of like supposed to be scary, and this is what I saw with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? My family's sitting just right there, and I'm like, did you guys see that or hear that? And I don't remember if they heard it, but they didn't see anything. Because they heard my reaction, like, holy shit, because I'm pretty sure I said something colorful, probably language-wise, but we've been seeing a lot of entities, we'll say. I mean, whether it be a person peeking, they're always peeking around the corners.
I would have swore when I just ran to the restroom and came back out, and I was trying to open the door quietly to come back in, and just before, as I was reaching for the door handle, I saw something peer around the staircase.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to do a double take, and it was still there, but then it just disappeared.
Right. No, it happens so often anymore around here. For female children's voice. I have 2 boys. I don't have any girls, other than my wife. But I've heard female voices plain as day when nobody's here. Like I was telling Jason, it was about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever. It was on a Saturday. I was just sitting there on my back to the wall, or watching my TV, sitting in the middle of the room in a chair, like a fold-up chair, and I could feel stuff and hear stuff behind me. So I started listening, and sure enough, this female starts talking to me. I'm like, what the fuck? So I started asking questions, but since I pulled out recorders, it kind of wasn't as prominent. But I don't know if they were trying to get my attention, trying to play with me a little bit, freak me out a little bit, but it didn't. Of course, it didn't bother me. Like, I wanted to talk, I wanted to know who it was. I don't know what's here. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's something I brought back from a location, or if it's something that's been here before me, or followed me from the other house. The other house was active too, down the street, not too far from here. I remember my most vivid one was my son and I we used to go to Rose's house to do the podcast.
Yeah.
And we came home one late night on a Sunday night, and we were walking into our door, and it's just a quiet night. There's nothing. There's neighborhood sleep, whatever. And all of a sudden, we both hear this little girl start talking between us. And my son at the time is probably, he's probably 10 years old at the time, maybe. And his eyes got real big, and he's like, I looked at him, and did you just hear that? And he goes, yeah, can we go inside? And he wanted to go inside right away. I'm like, okay, he did hear it. And he still remembers it to this day. It's like, he'll bring it up every now and then. I was a little uneasy because I wasn't expecting it out. I'm trying to carry all the equipment in from the show, and I'm like, oh shit, because I'm caught out here in the middle of, and somebody's trying to talk to me, and it just caught me off guard. But
what you're talking about kind of reminds me of one of my readings with Lena. I've seen stuff at my house here in Derby, and cause there was one day I was home, and everybody else was at work because I didn't go to work till later in the afternoon back then. And it's a quad level house, and I came down to the 3rd level of the house and went out into the walkout patio. Was out there like 10 minutes, come back in the house, and just as I'm closing the sliding door behind me, there was like a spirit, like a black full figure, come down the stairs. Got down to the landing and stopped, like was looking at me, then turned and walked down the hallway. And then I started like yelling out names, like I figured, okay, I'm seeing shit.
Right.
And like obviously everybody was still at work. I went in the garage. There's no cars in the driveway, the garage. Nobody else was there. And then I'm going all over the house. I didn't see anything else. It was just really weird. And one of my readings with Lena, she said that there's a male entity. And then she just kind of looks at me real funny, and she goes, you've seen him? I said, yeah. And she goes, he's either tied to the property or he's tied to the home. One of the two. And so it kind of got me thinking then. He'll speak to me every now and then, but I know your story kind of reminded me of that. So maybe you do have something tied to here, possibly.
Right. It wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. Plus, I was doing this before I even joined the group. I mean, that's always, sparked piqued my interest. That's why we reached out. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh, sorry, Barbara. I thought you were leaving. It's probably Janice that was leaving. You said good night. I thought you were probably saying good night to Janice. Sorry. That's why I told you good night, Barbara. My bad. No, the thing that happened more recently was it was late night, Sunday night. I want to say it was the night after the Super Bowl, maybe. And my wife and everybody waited on to bed. The boys were in bed already. And, well, Leo sleeps downstairs, not too far from here. And I was sitting there and I was going to lay down, and I was getting to put my headphones on because I had to sleep with headphones. I've told that story many times because if I don't, things come up to me continuously and talking like they did right there.
Yeah.
I get the voices nonstop, and they're not in my head. They're actually in the room with me. So, anyways, I'm sitting there, all of a sudden I hear boom, 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 boom. I thought somebody was pounding on my door. So, and I have cameras, so of course I flip my camera on right away and look, and there's nothing there. So I go around the perimeter on all my cameras, look, there's nothing. There's no movement caught, nothing. I'm like, what the hell? So I messaged my son who's downstairs, and I said, hey, was that you? And he goes, he didn't respond at first. He's like, was what me? I go, was that you that made that banging noise? He's like, no, I didn't hear anything. I'm like,
Wow.
okay. Then let it be. Sat there for a little bit longer, and I start to doze off. About 30 minutes later, I hear it again, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I jump up again because I was barely dozing off. Drop my camera out again. I asked my wife the next day. She said, I think I heard that one. Because she didn't hear the first one at all. Because
Oh, wow.
she sleeps pretty, heavy. She doesn't, like me, I'm a light sleeper. And anything moves, I hear it.
Yeah, it's like me.
So I look on the cameras again, nothing. I'm like, what in the hell? And when something else happened right after that, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the other part to that, but I know the banging part was concerning. It sounded like somebody was banging on our door. I'm like, okay, who the hell is banging on my door? Is it the police? Is it whatever? Kids, on a Sunday night of all things, it's kind of weird, but nothing showed up on camera. There was no movement. Nobody was anywhere.
That was recently.
It was about Super Bowl weekend, I think it was.
So.
Something trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Oh, where?
I want to say that was, sorry, I think that the day before was the day I heard the little girl's voice. That's why it was the relevant thing I heard that same weekend. Was I was sitting upstairs watching TV and I heard the little kid's voice or girl's voice. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Just saying, here recently, no one's out. We're the first to ever live where we live.
Oh, right.
We're starting to have some weird things happening. Noises that we can't explain that when nobody's up or moving. I want to say that there was knocking on the door.
Oh,
We go to look and no one's there.
really?
Also, we sleep with the door, our bedroom door just kind of cracked. About so much, maybe a few inches to a foot, it's open. We're all pretty much asleep, but her and I are just kind of like settling down and stuff, and there's ambient light out in the living room, and there's something that walks right past.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, to me it looked pretty big. I think Corey thought the same thing too. We get up and we let the two kids sleep on the couch that night, so they're out there. They're passed out.
Wow.
They're not. There's nobody else, but someone walked past and blocked out the light and everything. And we've been hearing like some weird noises off in the distance and to the other bedroom and stuff, and just like something moving, sliding, stuff like that, or being dropped. But I go to look and I see nothing. Nothing's out of the ordinary. Nothing's been moved. Nothing's been dropped. And nothing's on the ground.
Weird.
Like that.
Yeah.
And that's just starting to happen.
That's interesting.
So.
I don't know what the significance of that is. If it's the land or if it's because it is a new place.
Kind of, but yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. Barbara asked how many attachments have you had over the years? She's talking about what I was talking, since I'm telling about so much stuff. I don't know. I can remember some of the earliest ones.
You got like 100 attachments.
Probably. Well, like I said, if anybody's ever watched the movie, is it Ghost? Yeah, Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. It's like once you start talking to them and they know you can talk to them, then like, oh shit, I'm gonna show up on your doorstep and constantly not harass you, but try to interact with you. I don't think that's what it is.
6 Sense,
Yeah.
He's able to see and talk.
Right.
Or he's able to know that they're there, so therefore they're coming forward to him.
Right.
That's the same.
Yeah, because I remember some of the earliest, when I first joined the team, some of our earliest record, interactions were, we went to, we can't go there anymore, I'll just say it, the Forum Theater.
Right.
And I kept seeing, that's where I first, I saw the pastor, the full body apparition. We heard the growls, we heard all that stuff, and one of my first times being there, that's when he told me to get out. Somebody told me to get out. Or
Because we were
go away.
because we were talking about doing a public event, and we were sitting down with the then owner at the time.
Right.
And we were talking about what we could do for her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was, we were all talking about, well, we could load this up with like 25 people and everything, and then you got that.
Well, that happened before.
Was that
We
before?
had not even been we got her on the other side of the building.
Right.
Came walking through the back way. You guys were ahead of me. I had my phone.
Right.
I was using it as a flashlight, so you guys could go up because it was dark, remember? You guys were trying to go up the staircase by the pastor's office. So I was the last person, and I'm also recording at the same time. So I went into the building, my ritual. I turn on the recorder from start to finish. So
But our whole purpose was to, like, discuss this kind of thing.
But you guys were ahead of me, and I started to go up the staircase, and I heard. I'm like, did I hear that? And I was still new to the team, so I didn't know what I could hear well and stuff. So I was still a little iffy. But I was like, I heard something, or whatever, you know. I go back and listen to my recorder, and it goes, you can hear this thing go away, whispering, like, you know. I'm like, oh, that's what I heard in my ear. Because I even thought at first I thought it was a hiss, because the way it sounded. I was like, something hissing at us? I heard the stories about the place, you know, and
Right.
I never got a chance to investigate yet. But soon after that, you know, got to go in quite a bit and had all kinds of interactions. She said, getting kicked out again. We're talking about some of our more interesting, darker cases, and shit's happening. That's crazy. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm using our internet
Are we
right
back
now.
again?
I didn't see it flash the time. Usually I get a warning over. That's why I knew it went down the first time. I didn't see anything this time. I think we're still good. I don't know if she just got kicked out or... Did you say something?
I said, excuse me.
Oh, I thought
Sorry.
you said something. I don't know. Interesting.
No.
And it could be the streaming service too. It has to go... I think this one's getting picked up from Dallas, so it could be
Yeah.
Looks
something
like
like
it's
that.
still going.
Huh?
Okay.
It looks like it's still going
Yeah.
on my phone.
Okay, Barbara's back and Stacy says it's still good, so okay. Wait, yes, Stacy that got kicked out again, or yes, it's still good?
Sorry, y'all. Bye, Stacy.
But no, I just can't tell sometimes. But no, I don't know. Like I said about attachments, I've seen so many things. Like I said, because I'll never forget. We had a big team party or something, and I was supposed to go over to the former, you know, people that ran his house, and you were there already and stuff. And I was like really sick.
Right.
I couldn't even get out of bed. That's how sick I was, and I just remember laying there in bed, and this is like 7 o'clock on a Saturday night or something. Where I remember my wife was babysitting her niece and had my oldest son at the time only. He was young, and I was just like, she kept everybody out of the room because I was sick, and that way I could get rest. I just remember laying there, and I look up in the doorway, and I see the same image I saw at the Forum Theater. This tall, thin man with glasses. I can see reflection like I see in your glasses right now. The reflection of light from the TV was something I had on at the time. It was pitch black in the room. I look in the doorway, this thing standing there, and I'm like, not today. I don't feel good, you know. I'm outside. I think I roll over, and all of a sudden it's on the other side of the bed. I'm like, and I finally just said, I'm sick. Maybe I'll talk to you some other time. If you need something, I'll talk another time. Not now. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And then it just went away.
Did it
But
make you feel like you were crazy, like you were losing it because you didn't feel good?
no, not really. Because I was running a fever most of the time, and I don't remember what I had, but I think I had, maybe bronchitis. I don't remember what it was, but I was just like, not today, man. I don't know if it was that guy or if it was somebody else, but yeah, basically come back tomorrow, and that's what I did. I'm just like, not tonight. I can't do it. So I don't know. So I remember that one vividly, that attachment. But I've been told that I've had people from some of our psychic people, friends, whatever, that we all have attachments, whatever. You know, I just don't ever inquire about who they are because I don't care if they're. I mean, I'm glad they're there. I just don't need to know who they are. I'll figure it out on my own and, you know, interact with whoever.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think you guys have attachments? I mean, I think I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah.
I don't know about Andy. Do you guys think you have attachments at all?
I feel like it's not an attachment necessarily. I know that there's family that's passed on that are with me and visit because I get like certain whiffs of perfume. Like you guys are able to hear a little more than I am out loud, like especially you, Leo, like firsthand. But like there's certain things that will happen, and I know that somebody's near me that I like,
Sure.
my grandma or my aunt, and I know it's one certain person just because of what happens or the scent or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know that I've brought anything home from investigation because I've been very careful about
Sure.
that. But I feel like I've got family that's attached
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what some of us have too. I think that's what I have. I know that's what you have.
And I hate
Yeah.
to call it attachments. It's more like visitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're checking up every so often. Or,
Like guardian angels, we'll call them,
Yeah.
or something, or spirit guides. Some people refer. Well, that's a little different, but
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it's just, family and friends that are just,
yeah,
they have the ability to come around now
Mhm.
more so than they ever did. They're
right.
enjoying being around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I know some of the people that more recent years is people that have passed away and they knew what I did, so I think they reached out to me on purpose, whatever, to let us know either A, I'm okay, it's
Yeah.
not so bad, whatever, or just are you okay because you know what happened. So
Yeah.
I've seen quite interactions with. Cause I've lost all my grandparents, 3 of them in a
Short
matter of
period
2
of
3
time.
years, yeah, and 2 of them in the same year.
It's crazy.
And,
I lost all my grandparents like way long time ago.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I had one of my great aunts passed away early December. We had one cousin pass away on a Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then my aunt passed away the following Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
And then both funerals were the following week, and so it was kind of a rough time. And
Oh,
my
yeah.
aunt was very into paranormal stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I had some other stuff going on, or right after that, and I had a phone reading with Lena
Mm-hmm.
after that, and she brought up, like, first thing she says to me was, she goes, there's 2 spirits with you. And I knew one of them was my grandfather, because both my grandfathers passed. And then she goes, your aunt is with you. And my aunt was very into paranormal. She always wanted to come on investigation with us, but, as time went on, her health started declining. She goes, watch out on investigation, because she's going to let you know she's with you.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just kind of waiting on some investigation.
Right.
She tells me that she's there.
Yeah.
Team investigations. That's going to be coming up. Maybe we can have private times and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, in that same year, I lost my 2 grandparents. They were both grandpas. My last remaining ones. That was a year where I lost 10 people.
Yeah.
So over half of them, I think 5 or 6 of them were COVID. The other ones were just whatever. One of them being Aaron. I mean,
Yeah.
passing away in a car accident, stuff you can't control. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, so I think, like you said, it's maybe not so much attachments, or maybe it is. So I mean, some of them I brought back. I mean, like I said, the Charles Manson one. I mean, he knew I could talk to him, and
Well,
he
those,
wanted to talk
yes.
to me. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's much of attachment or if it's just,
I think in family and friends, they're always going to be around you.
Yeah.
No matter what. But when you go out doing what we do, and you
yeah.
bring back someone like that.
Well, you've had your incident from
What are you talking about?
when you and Renee both had that same incident. You and I got to
shit.
investigate that house out in I don't know where the fuck it is, way out west, northwest.
Yeah, Oberlin,
That it was, yeah, Oberlin.
who apparently doesn't want our help anymore.
That's still bizarre. That case
Yeah.
was.
But no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the museum too.
Oh really? Okay.
Whatever.
But,
I'll put it out there. I don't care. We put a
Yeah.
lot of time and effort to that. And
Yeah.
anyway,
Jeez.
that's bitter.
Yeah, Barbara, I can relate. Yep, it's. I mean, we've lost some paranormal people out other groups that
Yeah.
seen pass away from COVID and whatnot too. Yeah, so yeah, it's all around us anymore. And as we get older, of course, more people are gonna start dying, and that's natural. But a lot of them were unplanned. That was the hard part I had with it. Just wasn't planned. Not that you can plan this stuff necessarily. It's just it wasn't their time. Probably should have been their time, I guess. But unfortunately, it was. So yeah, well, that's part of life. So I don't know. Trying to think. Is there any kind of final thoughts? We're getting close to the end of the show. It's been it's been
Final
wide
thoughts. We need to come up with a good 150 episode.
Yes.
Like I said, 150 is fine. If we don't
Yeah.
make that, let's do that. We'll definitely get something for 200. Not
Yes,
we're gonna make that, but 150 would be nice. It's just that's 3 episodes away.
I know.
2 episodes away now at this point. 2 or 3.
No, but final thoughts.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep on doing what we're doing. It's good to be back to doing this.
Yeah.
Got a lot of cases coming up. We're gonna be doing a lot more traveling too.
Yeah.
To doing this kind of stuff, and I can't wait to do it.
So,
we're gonna. I don't know. A lot of good things are coming. I know that.
Sure.
Stuff that has been put on hold multiple times over the last 2-3 years. So, but now they're going full force. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Definitely.
It's
Me
nice to
too.
be the comeback kids.
Yeah, yeah. We never gave up.
Well, we never went away.
Leo and I have never given up.
Right.
So we're not gonna start now. So
Yeah.
we're gonna continue doing this.
Our team remains strong throughout,
Yeah.
and we're going to continue to keep pushing.
New
through.
faces bring new life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've got some old faces still, you know, but we've new faces bring new life, and it's a lot of fun.
I would agree. So, yeah, no, it's good to be back, like Jason said, be on back on the show. There's a couple times I thought about during our hiatus, I thought about going live a couple of times, but I just, it didn't feel right if I did it by myself, and I wanted to make sure the team
Oh,
was
I
and
wouldn't
stuff.
care. It would have been fun to watch you.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll keep this going, and we'll do some traveling and stuff like that. So, and we'll go live on location. So, if, like I said, that's why it's important if you're watching whatever you're watching this on, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube or some other platform you're watching on. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications on. That way, we go live, you go live with us. We'll always try to put it out ahead of time that we're going to do something live, but sometimes we just do it on a
Sometimes I forget to go live because I'm too worked up into the moment, and I just forget to do it. Then the night's over, and I'm like, damn it, I didn't go live.
Yep.
Maybe that's something I could do a better job of, like saying, "Hey, let's go live."
Yeah, it remind me. That's what I actually need is reminders to do stuff. So,
Understandable. Because you're old,
uh,
like you always tell me.
not like you.
Hey, the older we get, the more we forget.
The more
sometimes.
forgetful. It happens. So, no, but just want to say thank you guys for tuning in this week. Chris, so just hand me your phone.
We appreciate y'all
Yep.
tuning in and supporting us.
Definitely.
Yep.
So,
It'll be fun.
yep.
More
All
noises.
right. Yep. Always the noises. So, all right, guys. This has been episode number 147. Kind of just a miscellaneous of things. We'll go live, or we'll start getting into themed-based topics again. And like we always tell you guys, if there's anything you want us to talk about, anything you know about, let us know. We'll talk about anything and everything. It's not always necessarily paranormal, aliens, Bigfoot. Sometimes we talk about conspiracy theories. Talked about other things over the years. So,
We just
let
leave
us know.
politics at the door.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Unless it ties in somehow.
Yeah.
Like JFK. So, all right, y'all. This has been episode number 147 of the Cryptic Heartland podcast. I'm Leo. I'm Jason.
I'm
That's
Jason.
Andy. You'll see other people soon enough, hopefully. We need to get Dan, Jake, Roth, everybody else, and Chris and Renee. Get them back on the show, so soon enough. And we need to get Heath and Rhea on the show, too. So,
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
Like you around the corner. Are you here?